What's up, you guys? My name's Gunnar Gehl. This is my show, 1 Second to One Day. We're not in the normal studio setup right now because I'm actually in Tahoe writing my debut album. I'm so incredibly excited on how it's coming. I love every song that we've been doing, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. However, the show must go on, as you guys know. So I'm going to start with my song, Good Enough, that comes out tonight. Staring at the ceiling fan, following the blades. I see people passing by, my feet are stuck in place. If you ask my friends, they would tell you that I'm fine. Don't question what I do it for, I'm fighting for my life. Now tell me what the future holds, 1 second at a time. Cause I need to know why something don't feel right. It's time to be honest. I'm anxious, just thinking about it. I'm patient, I'm tired of wondering, is this good enough? I feel like I'm falling, but I'm falling forward. I try to control my thoughts, but they get worse. I'm tired of wondering, is this good enough? So tell me, is it good enough? Say I ain't the only one that hates to feel this way. Where these thoughts are coming from, I wish they go away. Cause I'm terrified, I'm scared of growing up. All I wanted was to find the words so that I could finally be heard. All I wanted was to find the words to help me find myself. It's time to be honest. I'm anxious, just thinking about it. I'm patient, I'm tired of wondering, is this good enough? I feel like I'm falling, but I'm falling forward. I try to control my thoughts, but they get worse. I'm tired of wondering, is this good enough? So tell me, is it good enough? Yeah. Is this good enough? All I wanted was to find the words so that I could finally be heard. All I wanted was to find the words. It's time to be honest. I'm anxious, tired of wondering, is this good enough? But it gets worse, I'm tired of wondering, is this good enough? So tell me, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Is it good enough? Is this good enough? Tell me, is it good enough? Thank you guys so much.
Josie, thank you for doing this show. This show is basically, a really special piece of content for me because I get to bring, other creators or influencers or artists onto this show and perform and talk about things that I feel like aren't talked about enough. And especially with COVID and quarantine and all this, I've been needing outlets to, get through certain things that I really haven't had to deal with in the past. So with that, we have been doing this show, and again, thank you for doing it. I'm going to let you introduce yourself for people who don't know, and then we'll talk about a couple of things. But I really want to talk about anxiety today and how it affects your body and how it affects your mind and stuff like that. But go ahead, intro yourself, and then we'll get into it.
So my name is Josie Jabs. I'm 19. I don't like really this title, but I'm an influencer, if you will. I am from a super small town in Wisconsin. I live in Minneapolis now, with 4 roommates, and I did my freshman year at the University of Minnesota, but I'm currently not taking classes just because of the whole online thing. I honestly don't want to pay the full tuition for an online education. So I'm taking a little break from school right now and just focusing on YouTube and Instagram, and that's pretty much it, I guess.
Do your roommates do videos and content with you?
No, they're all just normal college students.
Awesome. Well, I guess that makes for fun content though.
Yeah, they're like totally open to being in all my content, but none of them do the same thing.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we talked about this a little bit, and I don't know if this part was used in the past, but your story was that you really had always wanted to do videos, but were afraid to do it because you were afraid of the kids' reactions in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And which mine was the exact same. It was me not wanting to tell people that I was into music or into singing and performing because I was afraid of how kids and people would react. So it kind of is a perfect transition into anxiety because like that's all that was just anxiety and overthinking and freaking out that what the worst outcome could be instead of like doing what I want and not caring really about what other people thought. How did you build up the courage to basically at one point just be like, you know what, like I'm not going to worry about this, I'm just going to do what I want to do?
So honestly, like throughout high school, I just didn't really have many friends. Like I had friends in other towns, definitely, but I did not have any friends at my school just because I was kind of a quiet kid, I guess. Like I just wasn't really like one to like be super outgoing. So I got told by a lot of people that everyone thought I was like super stuck up or like just was really full of myself just because I didn't really talk. So I just had like a bad rep at my school, I guess. So I was like, honestly, like it couldn't get much worse than this. So I'm just gonna put myself out there and see like what comes with it, and hopefully it'll be good. And if not, then I guess I can just delete it all. So I was like, whatever at this point.
And was it a scary leap to do it, to post your first video?
Yeah, for sure. And after I posted my first video, I ended up like going to like the football game the week later, and there was like a ton of people like talking about it, like giving me like crap for it basically. And I like honestly left the football game crying because everyone was just like talking shit about me basically, and I could hear everyone, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave. So yeah.
But the fact that you stayed with it is awesome. Like that, the fact at that point you were already in, you were like, I don't care. Like, I mean, obviously it's upsetting and it it hurts and it sucks, but you were like, you didn't for a second doubt it. You just kept going. You were like, I'm doing this.
No, I definitely doubted it. I was like, maybe I should just stop. But also at the same time, I was like, I kind of just really want to prove these people wrong and prove to them that I can do it, I guess.
Yeah. And what was that like? What was the feeling that you had? Like, I don't know exactly know how to word it, but the feeling that I had when I would just put this video up on Instagram, it was like a battle between myself of being like, okay, I'm gonna post this and I'm gonna put my phone down and I'm not gonna look, because I was being like all hard headed, like I'm gonna post this and this is like how it is, and then the other half of me was like, post this, make sure every single comment that's coming in is like not negative, so that if it's bad, you can take it down. And I was like, I remember, and this kind of goes into where we'll go with this conversation, but I remember vividly, I was like sweating, which is like, I don't usually sweat unless I'm like working out or performing, whatever. Like I don't like sweat when I'm nervous, and I was like sweating from this, and I like remember being like lightheaded and all these like weird symptoms that I'd never really experienced before. And now I actually thinking about it, I think that probably was like one of my first like times of feeling that anxious and having that much anxiety about something, because that was a big deal, as I'm sure it was for you.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, because I feel like every time I would post a video, I would just get so nervous for like the comments, or like mainly just what people at my school would say, I guess. So yeah, there was a few times where I would have like actual panic attacks when I was about to post a video, just because I was like so scared of what other people would think. But after a while, that just kind of went away.
When you have a panic attack, like what what does that mean? You know, like what happens, because everyone kind of, it affects everyone differently. But what I want to try to do in this conversation is like make it clear that it's totally like a normal thing, and it's not like a weird thing that you know you have anxiety about things, or that you know that it affects you in certain ways. So what were your like?
For me, I obviously would be crying. It was like a type of like crying where you can't breathe, if you know what I mean. And I just would like, I like basically couldn't breathe. I would like have to like sit on my floor, like hold something really tight. You have to like take your mind off of it in some way, I guess. Like I just, yeah, I would get just super like lightheaded, crying, couldn't breathe. That's like a panic attack for me, I'd say.
Well, but here you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Positive.
Yeah.
Gotten through it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever talk about like these types of things with your audience and with your fans?
So after I've been through like a lot in the past year, and after that, I kind of have turned my channel and my Instagram into like a really like mental health. I don't know how to like I don't know the word for it.
Like a positive account.
I really like to advocate for mental health, just like make it seem like, or just show people that I'm a normal person too. I go through like bad mental things too, and that it's a completely normal thing, just because I feel like there is such a stigma around like anxiety, depression, like any other mental health things. And I just like want people to know that they're not alone, I guess.
Totally. And it's like one of those things where even in the last like couple of years, you know, thankfully we've seen a transition, but still to date, like when I was having these thoughts, like in the months ago, quarantine time, like pretty recently,
Mm-hmm.
I was experiencing like feelings and emotions that I had never really felt, like of pure like fear and anxiety and like overthinking and self-doubt beyond like what it had ever, you know, it was like the first time I'd experienced that like type of emotion. And it was like, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, you know, am I alone? Is this something that I'm like, why am I going through this? Why do I feel like this? And, you know, talking to friends and family and whatnot, it was like, you're not, this is normal. Everyone's kind of going through the same thing. And that was a really helpful point for me, was that everyone is going through this together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a little bit of a stigma of like, you know, you look at people who look like they're successful or look like they're, you know, oh, they've got 100,000 followers, they've got 1 million followers. They, you know, they're doing sold out tours, they're putting whatever it is, like there's kind of this I don't even know if stigma is the right word, but this feeling of like, oh, what do they have to be upset about? Like they're, you know, they're so on their way, everything looks great. And that's, you know, how people look at you, and it's how people, I'm sure, look at me, and how and to make it clear that we're all human and we're all people and we're all just ourselves. And you know, sometimes Instagram looks like the perfect best version of ourselves. It doesn't mean that that's, you know, who we are at the end of the day. And just being able to clarify that, like, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone goes through these same emotions and handles them differently and has different reactions to things, but it's all a part of, you know, of life and of growing up and where we are in our times right now. So it's just crazy. It's really wild.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, especially with us, like putting ourselves out there for everyone, it's like really, I feel like the anxiety part for me is always comparing myself to other people, like other people that do the same things as like I do, I guess. I just like, it's like that pressure to be like the best, and that's why I get super anxious about my videos now. I like feel like I'll just doubt myself and feel like my editing isn't good enough, or like what I filmed isn't like as good as it could be. And that's like the whole doubt thing, and that's why I don't know, it's been really hard for me over quarantine especially.
totally. I mean, I felt it with music of like, you put a song out, people love it, and you're like, okay, well, I hope that they like the next one better, or, you know, I hope that they don't think that it's going the opposite direction. So, you know, everyone, whether who they are, again, like no matter what they do, no matter what it looks like, everyone struggles with the same emotions and the same feelings. And And again, I'm just like happy that we got to do this show, and I'm thankful that you got to come and be a part of it, and have these conversations, because I really don't think it's done enough. And I think nowadays, like, we're seeing it a lot more, and even that new Demi Lovato song, "It's Okay Not to Be Okay," it's like amazing. Like, these are conversations that are now happening a lot more, but I think, you know, I think that this should be a normality, and it should be something that we talk about all the time, and that things shouldn't always look they're absolutely perfect, because at the end of the day, they're not. Well, I'm really excited that we got to do this show. Thank you for coming on, Josie. The next part of the show is really exciting. We have a pre-recorded live version of Andrea Russett's new single that she's never performed live before. This is going to be the first time people are hearing it. So here it is.
This next song I'm going to sing is an original that we wrote together. This is Matt on the guitar. And it's called Darkest Hour. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear it. Let's do it. Where do I run if I can't hide? Said I'm okay, but I won't lie. I'm lost on you, I'm losing. How do I know that you won't leave? Doubt in my mind, bruises on me. Just know that I'm still healing. And when you pull me closer, it's getting hard to breathe again. When all of this is over, are we gonna sink or swim? When I'm lost and I'm drowning, tell me that you'll be there in my darkest hour. When I'm fucked up and fading out, promise me you'll be there when I'm losing power. Say you'll reach out for me when I'm sinking under. Don't make me wonder where you'll be. Tell me that you'll be there. When I get drunk out of my mind, calling you up, starting a fight. You've heard all my excuses. Will you hang up? Will you text back? Slow my heart down, get me on track. You know I'm only human. And after all the bullshit, are you gonna take me home? When I'm scared and I need you, tell me that you'll